You will know me first by the waters and soils that hold the blood and dreams of my elders. This introduction is not just a metaphorical anchor to place. Those mountains really are my ancient elders. Eons of connection my people have as tangata whenua, people of the land, to Aotearoa, which you know as New Zealand. It signals a relationship with our living systems rather than dominance over them. It signals centuries of Indigenous expertise that is critical to the challenges our world faces. I was born to teenage parents who met on the steps of Parliament, speaking truth to power about the theft of our land and our language through colonial violence. Why are generations of our people driven into poverty while our stolen, pristine lands built generations of wealth for non-Māori farmers? The brutality of empire and colonisation stole my land and my language and defiled our knowledge. But the sooner the sun goes down on empire, the better, because its gluttony has left generational ruin around the world. I see you, peoples of Palestine and Sudan, Congo and West Papua, Myanmar and Ukraine, and so many more current atrocities sharing the foundation of colonisation. The impact of empire today is ongoing injustice. It means that Māori are 3 times more likely to be prosecuted than non-Māori for committing the same offences. It means that Māori are disproportionately without housing, are disproportionately living in material hardship, and are unfairly denied basic services compared to non-Māori. In my country, hope looks like having a brand new public holiday, Matariki, the Māori New Year, as a day for remembering all of our ancestors. It looks like record numbers of people, not just Māori, embracing and honouring the Māori language. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora mai tātou katoa.
The British Empire did more good things for more people than in any other empire in human history. The British Empire introduced the rule of law and the benefits of Magna Carta to millions of people. Because the Industrial Revolution began in this country, the British Empire took the benefits of industrial technology and railways to many parts of the world. The British Empire made English the only truly international language. English is the language of science, of diplomacy, of the internet, and of finance. I attended meetings of central bankers all over the world for 14 years. Every meeting was conducted in English. No translations, no interpreters were provided. They were not needed. The British Empire was also the first empire in the world to abolish slavery, long before it was abolished in many other parts of the world, and not only abolish slavery, but use the Royal Navy to hunt down slave ships. What of my own country, New Zealand? By any objective measure, we gained more by being part of the British Empire than we lost. Prior to 1840, the date from which Britain gradually asserted some authority over that country, New Zealand was populated by a Polynesian people now known as Māori. They were not indigenous in the sense that Australian Aborigines were indigenous, having arrived in New Zealand but about 7 centuries before 1840. But they were primitive people in the dictionary meaning of the word. They had no written language, had not invented the wheel, and practiced both slavery and cannibalism. The arrival of British authority and the settlers who followed, overwhelmingly from the United Kingdom, though some from other parts of Europe, changed all that. The rule of law was gradually established in New Zealand, slavery and cannibalism abolished, and intertribal warfare which had in the 3 or 4 decades prior to 1840 killed more Maori people than all the New Zealanders who had been killed in subsequent wars, came to an end. British settlers brought new forms of protein, sheep and cattle, and the horses and dogs with which to farm them. Settlers brought metal tools with which to build homes and other buildings which, though primitive by modern standards, were a vast improvement on what had been known before. The settlers brought the tools and the technology to build roads and ports, some of the most important building blocks of a modern society. Some Maori New Zealanders today look back on the 19th century arrival of British authority and British settlers with resentment and point to the loss of land, most of it to sale, but some of it to confiscation, which followed 1840. They point to the fact that Maori life expectancy is still a little short of the life expectancy of other New Zealanders and claim racial discrimination in the health system. They fail to note that life expectancy for Maori New Zealanders has increased hugely over the last 185 years, with the gap to other New Zealanders steadily closing. They fail to note that Maori are now well represented in all walks of New Zealand life. A Maori who writes under the pseudonym of Matua Kahurangi recently posted an article satirically calling for a coloniser day. Colonisation in New Zealand, he wrote, was not oppression, it was liberation. It ended tribal warfare, brought medicine, built homes and safeguarded species from extinction. It provided education, law and health systems. It gave Maori the tools to thrive in a modern world. New Zealand retains many of the benefits of having been part of that empire. We're a democratic society where every person, regardless of ancestry, has an equal vote. Maori New Zealanders are now present in every one of the 6 parties in Parliament, with 35% of the current cabinet having some Maori ancestry. Common law remains fundamental. English is the unofficial official language, the language in which virtually all social interaction occurs. While we retain the monarchy, with King Charles as our head of state, for an increasing number of New Zealanders, even those with British ancestors, the monarchy has no relevance to their daily lives. We retain much of what being part of the British Empire gave us, but we are surely better to now stand independently on our own 2 feet. Thank you.